You want to be a developer who is competent by the tech industry standards, but you aren't sure how to get there. OmniQuotient is here to help. By selecting the tech that you use and answering questions belonging to these technologies, you can check if you are currently using the recommended practices in coding. If you aren't, you will learn what these practices are, so you can go ahead, learn them, and become a better developer producing better code. OmniQuotient. Learn how professionals code.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Welcome everybody. This is Albert. I'm with Jerb, and this is CTOs
Discuss.
And today we're gonna do supposedly a funny one, but we'll try to insert our meaningful thoughts and maybe some real life stories.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to do some explaining for the guys who can't understand. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we
so,
understand the memes.
So we will do CTOs discuss tech memes, and how we collected this, we asked our team to our dev teams to like basically collect memes and vote amongst themselves, and they didn't show this to us, so we don't
Yeah.
have prior knowledge of this, and now it's going to be shown one at a time to us, and we will react genuinely. So some of them, I'm afraid actually that we can't relate, so help us in the comments and say whatever you want. All right, Joe, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's dive right into it.
Let's do this. First one. What is this one? Show it to us. What is this?
Square.
Okay, it's a video.
That goes
The
in?
square.
Oh, I've seen this.
I've
This
seen
is
this
funny.
too.
Yes.
This
And
is
how about
actually
this
very
rectangle?
true.
That one
Also the
that
square.
goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next,
But I've never
that's
seen
the
this with
thin
audio.
rectangle.
The thin
You guess
rectangle.
where
Really?
that goes?
The thin
Yeah, I don't
rectangle.
play the audio.
It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
The circle.
the square hole. Now, we've also got the semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
The semicircle.
semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right.
I
it's
can
the
think of
square
so
hole.
many instances this happened.
Up
This is
next,
so true.
the triangle.
This
We
is
know
so
what
true.
hole that goes
The
into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right, the square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch. The
And
arch.
you guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole.
You first, me first. Like this
You
is
first,
so
you
true.
first. You
Yeah,
first.
I mean, like this is so true because I think like we as developers, we create things from like a perspective where keep it on screen. Like we view things very specifically, like this function for this purpose, this function for this purpose. We organize things, but then the users, they just use whatever is the easiest and in this case the most familiar. So once they started with the square hole, like that's square hole all the way. Like if it works, it works.
And this one pa nga didn't like actually reach users yet, right? This is with the QA.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
my story is more on like I remember when we were building the app for a bank before, no, like
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 years ago. I can say it now in Union Bank. We have this really good QA, Bert, that he finds out those very weird things to make your program just either crash or make things work, no? And it's so weird because he's really good. He calls it like exploratory testing, but yeah, there were times now he said, "Nah, let's just deprioritize that because I don't think people would use the app that way."
But I have a question. So, okay, this case, is this something like would you call this passing? Is this good? Is this bad? Like, for example, this for me, this is passing. Like for me, actually, for me, this means that none of the other features you developed were actually necessary.
True. Or we could be very technical here na no. The square hole doesn't have the exact checks, right? For that specific
Validation.
parameter so I don't know if you guys so for example guys, for those that are non-coders or non-developers who are not technical, usually when we define features, what's usually done is we have a definition of done, and at the same time there's an acceptance criteria. And so if those things are not clear before the development happens, no, these kinds of things I guess can happen, right?
Yeah.
Na, I mean, the acceptance criteria I guess could have been if it's not a square, and if we see that it's longer than an actual square, we won't accept that in that hole, although it would fit, something like
You know,
that. There could be
Jerb,
checks.
I actually, as a dev guy, I would actually shift the blame here, the root cause of here from dev. This is not a dev issue. This is a product issue. It is a
Or could be
product
UX,
design
could
issue.
be UX too, could be UX.
Yeah, like
Depends, yeah.
the design of the product. Like, yeah, I would shift the blame on this one. Not to always just like find blame, but I was like, I think the design of this was not well thought out. All right, give us another one. That was a good first one. Let's see the second. What's this? How to reattach a detached head. FBI. How to reattach a detached head in Git. I still Google these stuff. I don't know. Like, I actually have a. Do you know what this means? Like,
No.
okay, so in Git branching, so I kind of code still. So
Yeah.
this is still form applies to me. But when what you do with Git is you can, well, it's not, you never actually say how to reattach a detached head in Git.
Yeah, I
But
get that. But why FBI? Anyway, go explain it.
no, because it just says how to reattach a detached head. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
okay.
Jerb, you're so technical that you didn't even imagine like what this is in real life. In real life, like, how to
Okay,
reattach
yeah.
it,
So the
like,
police are like like looking for, like, they heard it, and baka there's even more dark humor here, Bert, because they're probably listening, right? I mean, the FBI is not in your dev team, right? Or
yeah,
something.
that's true. That's true.
Maybe
There's some
that's the dark
surveillance.
humor. Okay, nagets ko na. Sorry, that took a while, guys.
Surveillance. Okay, next, give us another one. I'm partly scared. Like every time we say next, like, am I gonna be able to relate to this next one?
It's a roulette.
Okay, and oh, oh my gosh! Like, okay, so okay, I don't know what I am. Oh my gosh! I hope the kid is okay. I think your kid's okay, but man,
I
yeah,
think the thing that I can probably relate here, like back when I used to really actively code still, right? Like, you would try to follow videos. Actually, no, let me just parang turn the wheels of time some more here, no? College time pa lang, we used to follow a C# video, no? And
mhm.
because, there's a lot of talking, sometimes you skip, right? You skip the videos, and so you skip certain things, then most of them are like setup stuff, and because of that it would not function. Now when in the video it says compile, and then it's no errors. On your case, like, so many errors, so problems.
Yeah, I think so. If I would actually turn the wheels of time furthermore, I still actually remember when I would try to copy exact code, not from a video, but actually from a book. Like, I would
Oh
read like
yeah.
from the book and then type. So actually now I think watching videos and copying a tutorial from the code from a video is, I think, one of the worst things you could. It's very inefficient, I think.
Yeah, I think better if it's probably from a forum, because it's just copy paste, right? Automatic.
Yeah. Or for
Pero pag
example,
video mahirap. Like, you could miss
yeah.
a semicolon there.
Yeah. So you should definitely, like, well, I think what I've seen some videos do, or some tutorials, is they have a video. And because I actually have the course where I do a video thing, but you have to have like
Yes.
a repo, like, or something that you can have your viewers download and copy off that, instead of like copying literally from a YouTube video or from the video
Yeah.
itself. That would be
Yeah.
torture.
Yeah. Plus, you don't really like learn then from that, right? I think
Well, Jerb,
if it
the mere
does
fact
work,
that you're copying.
no, it could be that it's deadlines, right? Pwede rin
Yeah.
ganun eh.
If we're talking about learning here, then maybe I would say that copying from a YouTube video is more learning because you have to type it than just copy pasting. So if we're talking about learning, then yeah, it's a different thing. If you're just getting things done, then yeah, copy paste.
Okay.
Next one.
Hopefully, guys, your copy and pasting wouldn't be as disastrous as the video.
Okay, what's this? Full stack now means you can build front ends, write back ends, handle DevOps, start a podcast, curate a newsletter, crack an egg with one hand, animate a picture, duck. Are you looking for full stack developers, Jerv?
We are. We're hiring a lot, actually.
Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about this because one side I feel like there's some truth to it, but I also feel I feel like we kind of expect that. I mean, except for the whole joke about start a podcast, curate a
Yeah,
newsletter.
curate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero I think this is also very dependent on the size of the company, right? So like a couple weeks back I was looking at this video about AI, ML, data science, data engineering, modeling, etc. And the video was talking about the hierarchy of needs, right? So if you're like a very small startup or team, most likely if you need a data scientist, he's also the data engineer, he's also the the modeler, the AI, ML coder, etc. It depends, right? But I think with bigger teams comes more
Specialization.
exactly. Because you would want people that are, let's say, when we define full stack, we end at the first two lines lang. You could build front end and back end, or at the like you could interact with APIs, right? And build APIs sa likod, etc. But we don't expect you to know DevOps, infra, all the rest sa likod, as in pinakalikod na. So those things are handled by our DevOps team.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Yeah, fair point. I think most of our people are full stack. And by full stack, we mean like front and back end on top of insisting no ops infrastructure.
Yeah.
Either
Nice
that's
to have
like,
na lang yan.
yeah. And then sometimes when we have like DevOps, I usually do it. and then I do it in such a way that, okay, just copy this Docker file or copy this YAML. And that's enough, right? That's our full stack, front end and back end. And that's it. Yeah, but that's why I feel very weird about this meme because it's like there's a lot of like pushback on this, which I actually don't quite understand. So, like, are people like do not want to generalize, do not want to go front, like they really just want to be front end or just back end? I feel, but I mean, I get your point now. That's actually good. That depends on the team. If you're early on and you're kind of like wanting to build things fast,
Yeah.
you want to go front and back end and you kind of own the whole stack. Once you can stabilize.
Correct. Because I guess like this is both ways, right? Like supply side, it's you as the developer. I think you would also want naman to build up your skills, right? You would want to be very much like a Swiss knife, no? That you kind of know some things, but I think at some point in your career, you probably want to also like specialize, I guess, no? If you're specializing, I think you're looking for maybe a more mature company. Because if you go to the smaller companies, they would really expect you to do everything.
Yeah,
Right.
and the reason is because when you're in a smaller team, usually you're starting out, so you're kind of like fiddling in a lot of things and getting things done. If you're in a bigger company, your operations is kind of like stabilized already, and now you're looking for optimizations.
Correct.
In the stack. So you
Correct,
want
correct.
specialized people there. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you for this one. Let's see what's next.
Sa amin nga, ang requirement, kaya mong sumayaw eh. Kasi if you're a newbie, you have to have a dance or a singing presentation.
Wow. Oh, we lost that one
nag-load.
there. Try again. Okay.
Wait, let's play something.
Can you play that again? Because I definitely want to see that again. Change one line in production.
Ahí está, güey. Lo va a darle comadres, güey.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I think then this might depend on. I mean, this is funny, although if you have customers, this might not be funny. But I think in more mature then startups, I think there's also a delineation of environments too. So I don't think you can break code in production that easily. Although meron pa ring nakakalusot for sure. But I think mature companies would have more, or not even companies, right? Mature DevOps, right? And when I say DevOps, it's not just the DevOps, CI/CD, etc., but the whole development operations as a whole. If you have a really good pipeline, and there's depende pa, in some companies there would be dev environment, UAT, mayroon staging, production 1, production 2, those things. So
Yeah.
this doesn't happen as often as now. Maybe with really small companies though, maybe.
Yeah. So for us, I think where's that sound coming from? Is that coming from you, Jerb?
Yeah, the funny one.
I hear some music as like taunting us. Um, yeah, for me, I would say I can relate to this one, and I think I have to stop people to say like, hey, especially like, okay, let me delineate. So when we're still like validating things, we're still like in the early days of a product. We still don't have external users, just internal. We found that setting up a CI/CD pipeline, having these unit tests and automated tests, integration tests, is a lot of overhead for something that we might just like change direction, pivot from. So what we usually do at like that stage, we don't have like any of that. So it's all like full production. Everything's production, deployed to production. But the moment like it starts to have like real users, we have
That's
to
when you
ship.
put the safeguards. Yeah.
Yeah, we put in the safeguards and
Makes sense.
and all these things. But this doesn't always happen. Like, it's so easy to say like once we have them users, we will put in the safeguards, right? Like it's so easy in theory, but in reality, there is like it's a bit messy in that part. And so I could see that during that time that this could happen where the mindset has to shift. I think the only thing I would say is that one important thing, that tool that we've had that's very useful, is the ability to do rollbacks, like easy rollbacks.
True.
That's your best friend. All right, give us another one. These things make me nervous, right? One line in production, like fixing on production, like makes me, oh my gosh, we still have apps in production. So
Kami din. It's scary. These things don't like make you lack sleep. Sige, game.
programmers, stop using print statement as debugging tool or draw 25.
Parang, parang to, Bert, like console logs.
Yeah.
Print F, I am here.
Okay, I would say, well, two things. One, if developers debugging, the art, like the skill of debug, I say it's a skill, right? Skill of using debugging tools, and there are great debugging tools. If you don't use debugging tools, learn them. If you're a developer listening to this, learn them. It'll be worth it. But if you don't know that skill, or if you feel like even after you know that and you just need to do quick debugging, I think this one is fine. Just use console log, but do not check those in, right? Do not check those into the repository. Don't ship them in production. It's really
I've
bad.
seen that happen. Like, I wouldn't name it, but there was this one bank that had that, like a debugging statement.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it said error to, something like that.
yeah.
And
And
then
what's
it was on
crazy?
their app. It was in their mobile app. Anyway.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that if you're doing that, then sometimes if you allow yourself to do that, then it's a slippery slope that leads to, what if you're console logging like username, password that's being, basically you're leaking debugging, what do you call this? Debugging behavior, debugging code into your production apps, and that could be, at the very worst, disastrous security issue, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, it's annoying, right? It messes up your logs. But at the worst, it could be disaster there. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't do
This
that.
is where the QAs would come in too, right? Like I think the QAs would be able to catch those things before it actually happens.
Your QA looks into the code, like they also read the code.
No, they do smoke testing, right? Automated testing.
Hmm.
There's some parts that are automated, there are some that are manual, but those
Yeah.
things na uh would be able, would be easily caught if
Yeah.
those things are followed naman. Yeah, they don't
So
access code though. Yeah, may mga unit tests, but those are the devs.
got it. I think just one thing that came to my mind is for console.log, just JavaScript. There are linters that actually you can make hooks that you can't push if there's like a console.log statement anywhere. You can make it part of the rule. So it's quite easy actually nowadays to catch that.
Yeah,
Cool.
but I think the meme here is that
Yeah,
no,
programmers.
we're not. We're gonna draw more.
Yeah,
Draw 25
the
cards.
the easy way out. The easy way out, definitely.
Yeah.
Human nature, bro. Whatever is
Yeah.
the easiest, we will do that.
Yep.
It will take a CTO to tell us what to do and force us to do it.
Even still. If it works, it works.
See, next one. Threaten us with, like if you don't comply. All right. What's this? The amazing thing about this video, actually, I'm more amazed that he got it to work. Like,
Yes, same comment.
it's like amazing. Like he's using all these different tools and it's working. Maybe that's why even it's so appropriate. It's so appropriate because like there are so many instances where we as devs, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, like use tools we just copy from Stack Overflow or something, and like it's not really the purpose of why it's supposed to be used that way or how it's supposed to be used, but it works for our use case. So hala, use it that way. If it works for that, then use it.
Depends,
Yeah.
depends too, because in some cases, right, if you don't read the documentation, it really won't work.
No,
Yeah.
I'm totally in for you. This one, like, I'm just saying, like, this is like the habit that we picked up one, I think, from school, right? School project thesis or whatever, right? In order to get to the thesis, we kind of have to like, the easiest way is to copy this whole boilerplate from Bootstrap or whatever, and then figure out like how to
Get
tweak
you,
it.
get you.
Yeah,
I
and then
get
I
you.
think that carried over to professional, like in the careers, right? Like that behavior of just the easiest way to get this to work. I think we are losing, or I think we need to go back to investing time in reading actual documentation. So
Correct.
there's this
Correct.
one guy who applied in our company, and he's now working for us. So he's a young guy. He's self-taught. He had an impressive portfolio, and so I asked him like, you don't have a college background for a computer, but why? Like, how come you know all this? And he's like, oh, because I dedicated like the moment we went on lockdown. So last year, ECQ. Okay, when we went on lockdown, like I decided, like my parents lost their jobs, so I decided to like get the highest income job I could get, and it was tech. So, but I don't know tech, so I decided to like stop everything in my life and just spend 10 hours a day learning. I was like, wow, this is impressive. So, how did you learn? Now, this is very. He just read documentation. Like that's what he did. He just read documentation. I'm like, what kind of documentation did you read? Like what's your favorite documentation? He said MSDN. Like, and I was like, MSDN. This sounds familiar. I realized like I haven't even looked at that thing for such a
Same.
long time. Yeah, but there was something impressive about that because he understood things in a certain way. He knew methods that we didn't even know. Us being veterans didn't even know existed
Yeah.
because it was in the documentation, but it's not very popular. So we haven't really picked it up in any of the Stack Overflow or like common usages. But he
Yeah.
knew it because he went to documentation. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I think the thing with coding and technology in general really is that there's not one way to do things, right? Like there's many different ways. And you mentioned something about school earlier, and I think more and more companies, and I mean, come on, di ba? Facebook, those guys didn't even graduate college, diba? I think it's kind of backwards na rin, no? Although you didn't say it, no? And I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but in some cases that you being a college graduate pa rin is necessary, or you have to have an IT background or IT graduate in IT for you to qualify to a job. I think that's very limiting. There's a lot of people just like whom you've shared can learn things on their own, right? And
Yeah,
just
but
reading
Jerv,
documentation.
don't say this so that the other companies won't hire them when we get for
True, true, true.
ourselves.
Delete this, delete this. Next meme, next meme, next
We
meme.
hire people who don't, who learn well even outside of college. Go
Yeah,
to us. Go to us.
I think the critical thing talaga it's what's the word I'm looking for here? Uh Problem solving skills or critical thinking. I think
Yeah.
that's the key thing with I probably any profession, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have to have some good fundamentals, but
True,
problem
true,
solving
true,
is,
true.
is pretty good. Okay, what's this? There's a pony. There's a girl in love with a pony. A fairy here to grant you a magical wish. I wish I could talk with ponies. There is no. What is this? I can't see it. There is no known polynomial. Can we zoom in a bit? There you go.
Ayan,
There is
ayan,
no
ayan.
known polynomial time solution to the challenge. I don't get it.
Ako, ako din. Maybe it's an error because it's not possible.
Okay. Next one. Next one. I don't
I'm
talk with
trying,
ponies.
but I don't know. I don't know. The horse started talking though. I don't know.
Let's move on. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, here we go. Me writing code. Is he gonna get hurt? Oh, oh.
Eto na. This is what you said, right? Like we use it as a crutch to make things
Totally.
happen.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's okay.
It's accepted, right?
Yeah.
It's accepted. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Although it shouldn't be the rule of thumb, right? Like it shouldn't be that you're starting a project, everything is like
From Stack
copy
Overflow and
paste.
YouTube, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just on the fringes, right? So what I Stack Overflow for is usually like these commands that I only run like once in every 2 weeks. Like I find like how do I do this again? Like okay, and then I just go to the Stack Overflow link that's already in purple because
Yeah.
I visited it so many times. I should have just bookmarked it or something. All right.
Yeah, but it
Like,
works. It works, diba? And I think for new things too, Bert, diba? Something that you're still learning, and we do encounter this a lot in projects, right? I think you'd most likely be able to relate, right? There's this new requirement, new technology being asked, no? Like
Yeah.
especially for edge tech, right? Like when we started to learn blockchain development, no one in the Philippines was helping us like know how to do it, right? And so we had to look at a lot of documentation and YouTube, Stack Overflow. It really helps, and I guess that's where it's kind of acceptable, yeah, right? And
But I have a
wala kang
question.
choice.
So Stack Overflow I get, but now I'm looking at it. YouTube, like I actually haven't found so much good stuff.
Meron. Like
Meron.
especially those things that are more theoretical and they explain why it's like that,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. I should
Yeah.
I should probably look at that.
It's probably
Alright.
like people also, they're not on Udemy. They're not uploading videos in Udemy, but they're uploading videos in YouTube. So similar. Yeah.
Got it. IT leaders, what I think I do, what my mom thinks I do, what finance thinks I do, what business users think I do. What is that? Just playing Counter Strike. What business users want me to do, which is do magic, and what I'm actually doing. Should we tell them? Should we tell them the truth?
Go ahead.
I think this is true, right? Like
Yeah.
I think this is true. Like even right now, as I say, like we have stuff in production. There's a part of me that's like always just waiting for a call.
Really, Bert?
Well, I don't get a call like every day, but there's just a part of me that thinks like, you know, Like
Something's gonna happen.
yeah, if my phone, because something always happens, right? Like it's just a
True,
matter
true,
of time.
true.
So if my phone rings and I see a specific name, I almost always know. Okay, I'm almost like checking at the same time. Like, okay, are we still?
Prepare,
Yeah,
prepare myself.
is our what's our logs? Like our logs, we're still up. We're still up. Why is he calling? Like, okay, hello, is everything okay? Oh, okay. Want to discuss this other thing? Oh, I thought the website was down.
This is
Yeah.
true. This is true. Nga.
But
I
for
think
us, this has happened less and less as the safeguards are in place. Then yeah,
correct, correct, correct. And you mentioned then right, like proper monitoring tools. You mentioned you're looking at logs. On our side, we look APMs. Look at APMs, application, monitors. Also the same, right? To give you some peace of mind na nothing's gonna happen, or if something happens, you know it like really really quickly. But this last picture though, what do you think about this one? Like to you, what does this tell you? Now
oh
you're
no, so that one is not so. Hmm, that looks like a guy who's holding a big boulder over him in a very precarious situation.
yeah. Parang trying to stop doomsday or something. Yeah. I can't relate to the last one, I guess,
Maybe
but
more. Maybe I would change this to more of like you're actually trying to roll a very big stone to a certain direction instead of like
yeah,
just
mamamatay. No, it's uphill.
yeah.
It's uphill, not like you're stopping disaster.
Yeah, more of like you're trying to change the world instead of being changed.
Yes. Or
That
maybe
like
that's the case, no? Maybe that's the case pala. He's probably pushing.
yeah, because also like business users want me to do all sorts of magic while finance is like not giving me the stuff that I need,
Walang
right?
budget.
And business users up only like what do you call this? Business only users don't even appreciate think that just I'm just playing Counter Strike all the time. And yeah, my mom is always calling me to like fix her iPad or internet.
True.
Yeah.
Automatic. If you're an IT guy, you know computers.
Yeah. Royce is saying here, fixing bug in production, right? So yeah, fixing bug in production is well, number one, you have to fix the bugs when they're in production. Like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You have to
yeah.
fix bugs. But not like troubleshoot like in the like tweaking it in the box. Use a CI/CD pipeline that would keep your sanity. That would help you from not having a doomsday scenario where things are just gonna roll over you.
Yeah.
I love how we talk about ideals here, but sometimes you just gotta make the
It doesn't
shots like in the actual day, right?
hotfix, anong CICD?
Hot- yeah,
Hotfix.
change the value in the database right now. Last photo
Uh,
looks like fixing bug in production.
Sometimes it might feel that way. Yeah, it could.
I think fixing bug in production reminds me of that guy in the train. I don't know if Len Lee's gonna show this one to us. That guy in the train who's in front of the train trying to fix the rail tracks as the train is moving. Have you seen this?
No, haven't.
I
Haven't.
wish. Okay, I'll go ahead. Let me show us the
Let's
next one.
sige.
Do we have another one? Okay, here we go.
Pabili po.
I've seen this. This is nice.
May pansit canton po ba kayo? Meron. Ilan? Ay, wag na lang po pala pansit canton. May maling po ba kayo? Ay, hindi. Corned beef na lang po kaya. Century tuna na lang kaya. May skyflex po ba kayo? Baka lang. Ay, hindi. Sige, pansit
Oh my
canton na lang
goodness.
po. Uy, grabe. Ang bilis. Teka po. Bakit po noodles lang walang powder? Bilis, no? Kahit walang powder, pag pinakuluan mo yan, mabubusog ka rin naman. Ha?
Sige, for the people who may not understand what agile means, Albert, do you want to explain?
So agile development is this okay, maybe the history of development, quick history. We used to have this software development where people like decide like what they want a piece of software to do. Then they kind of like specify all the requirements. They write it up in a
Scope of
contract.
work.
Yeah, the
SOW.
scope of work. Yeah, scope of work. They write it all down to the very last details. Then they sign off on it. And then we agree and we're happy. And then the developers then go execute that, right? And if ever you want to change something that's not in the scope of work, then you have to go through the whole process of renegotiating again. It's a big process. It's a big
Or you say out of scope, change request. This is the charge.
Yeah, so that's waterfall like development. Now agile development is more of like more flexible, meaning we are okay with the changes happening. We are okay with, the goal is to create software that the user needs and really needs, and this part acknowledging that scope may change, right?
Right.
The actual business needs may change as new information comes in, and as new information is found out, and they make some realizations after using the software, they can change it. So in other words, agile development focuses on fast, quick iterations and being open to change.
That's why it's agile, right? Like you
Yeah.
shift directions left and right. But, and I think this is where the meme comes in. So now that Albert has explained that,
Yeah, play it again.
go.
Pabili po. Ano yan? May pansit canton po ba kayo?
I love this one.
Meron. Ilan? Ay, wag na lang po pala pansit canton. May maling po ba kayo? Ay, hindi. Corned beef na lang po kaya. Century tuna na lang kaya. May skyflakes po ba kayo? Baka lang. Ay, hindi. Sige, pansit canton na lang po. Uy, grabe. Ang bilis. Teka po. Bakit po noodles lang walang powder? Bilis, no? Kahit walang powder, pag pinakuluan mo yan, mabubusog ka rin naman.
Yan.
Ha?
So that the tendera or the shop owner in this case, guys, is you could probably call her the developer, right? Or the project manager or scrum master, whatever. Basta siya yung he or she is the one that's going to solve the problem. And so in that case where pancit canton, maling, spam, skyflakes, what the developer understood was that, hey, this person's hungry, right? And so, but on the other side naman, the client, because it is agile development, that kinds of gives them the excuse, right, to change things very, very, very quickly. And this is where this kind of gets abused, I guess, no? And again, depending on the maturity of the teams, again, no? It shouldn't be that fast. I remember when we started doing agile, Bert, in our company, we asked our trainer, right? So if agile is responding to changes, right? And if the product owner changes even during the sprint, no? What happens? Do we say yes? Do we say no? And that guy said na, hey, we're still doing project management, right? There's still requirements to be done. And so you can't just say maling, skyflakes, pancit canton that quickly, right? So, ganon. So I guess in the end naman, the shop owner gave her, ano yun? Parang pancit canton lang, no? Noodles lang. Pero the developer said na, it's okay, that would work because you're hungry, right? So if you add hot water, it would still, mabubusog ka pa rin. So, yeah. I guess.
Well, my thought here actually is on alignment of incentives. So here, the person is annoyed because she can't.
What do you want? Just give me what you want. Yeah.
Just make it because you're wasting my time. You're wasting my time.
True.
You're taking my time. Ang tagal mo you can make up your mind. But what we've done in the company is over time we realized this because before we would do a work in an agile manner, but we would bill fixed price. That was horrible. Never do that. So what we do now is we just say we bill per sprint. And it doesn't matter. Like you can change all you want whenever you want. And that will of course obviously delay things because you're changing it. But since you're paying per sprint, it's okay with us. So the incentives are aligned. So now, pag pumapatak ang metro, right? Like, what do you want?
It's okay.
Pancit canton, okay, piso. Mahal na piso pa rin. Sige ba, ano pa? Like, whatever you want until you make up your mind. So now the incentives are aligned. And say, the customer is like saying, like, okay, I want this for now, right? Don't change it muna kasi ma-delay niya. Ayoko mabayad ng mas malaki. So I think as long as you align the incentives, it can work actually better.
True. But I think in this video, the dev guy or the lady, was annoyed na. Like, you're just hungry. Next time na lang yung I guess the ingredients for the pancit canton, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've beat this meme to death. But
okay, let's move on to the next one.
Does that make sense for you guys?
Struck sensitive nerves, I guess. Struck chord.
Yeah. Agile daw eh.
What is this? Important by S&P Panas PD, important was the important perceive it to print.
Every developer ever. Diba, when you start to learn any language, right? I think the last one that I studied was Flutter. This like it's always this, right? Printf, display, yeah.
And this one is also saying like I'm gonna import every single library I can that is like cool and awesome,
Tapos yun lang pala
and I'm just
yung
gonna do print hello world, right? And so
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. True, true.
uh,
Ano yan, Bert? Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
there's actually a counter argument to that one, right? Like the Yagni principle, you ain't gonna need it.
Anyways, overkill daw, overkill.
True. Yeah, that's debate. The debates engineers always have overkill or premature optimization. What is this? Online courses. What they promise you will learn is object detection. What you actually learn is linear regression. So this is a machine learning, artificial intelligence kind of, what do you call this? Meme.
Mm-mm.
Well, I this is kind of accurate because all machine learning, like most of machine learning, is broken down into basically linear logistic regression at its core level. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm
it's like if you really break it down pa, it's zeros and ones man yun, di ba? But I guess what's the meme here though? I don't know.
well, the meme here is that you are sold like, oh, cool object detection, but then when you actually go through the course, you're going through linear regression.
This is really what you're gonna do.
Yeah, but it's like that, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
unsexy
yeah.
part of the job of this lesson. Like, yeah, when you become an engineer or like for example like a civil engineer, you're thinking you're gonna build bridges, right? But in reality, you're solving calculus equations, like you're
True,
solving
true,
material
true.
strength,
Yeah.
you're doing all those things, you're preparing contracts, preparing PowerPoint
This is what you
presentations.
actually see. Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is what most people
Yeah.
don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most people see like, our job CTOs, maybe like we just make decisions and like that's kind of what we do behind the scenes. Like what
The
else do we do?
reality is we're always in meetings.
Yeah. Fighting for our teams, like, arguing for like
True,
strategy.
true,
Yeah.
true.
All right. Next one. Interesting.
On Tuesday, got you girl in the pretty shake. Tuesday, got one girl. On Tuesday, got you girl in the pretty shake. Tuesday, got one girl.
So mean. Why?
Oy, dude, I think like even sa data science, right? Like R or Python, sometimes it becomes a religion eh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess, but I don't hate. Peace and love, don't hate.
Yeah, pero sometimes it really becomes like a religion na. I think anyway, this might be a sensitive topic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very neutral. Like, I have some specific languages that we want to use in the company, but it's simply because like it's strategic to what we use. It's not because like it's the best language ever, it's the best, and everything else is crap.
True,
and
true.
like that's not the case.
Yeah, there will always be better things for specific use cases.
Exactly.
There's many things that you have to think about, right? Like for example, if these people goes on a vacation, somebody has to know that particular language to actually support things, right? So
Yeah, so there was
yeah.
this one time. Okay, I'll share this one. So we use React Native for building mobile apps, and then this you mentioned Flutter. This Flutter that come out. So I told people like start playing with it, but we're not going to use this in production because not everybody knows it yet. Not a lot of people know it yet, and not a lot of people in the team know it. And
Yeah.
one of my guys said, Albert, I really want to use Flutter, and I was like, I don't know. Like I think we have, my meme is like, but I really want because it's really applicable, and I really want to use this one. I was like, okay, this is my fear. I'll be honest with you. My fear is that you'll build this in Flutter. Come 6 months, we ship the project, and you resign. And then now I'm like, I have nobody else to take and care of handle that. And he was like, That's it. That's your fear. I won't leave. Like I was like, okay, as long as you don't do that, then I'm good.
Dapat
All
may
right.
bond, Bert. Before you push this to production, to master, you have a bond.
Yeah, because that's one of the considerations, right? That's just one of the
Yeah,
considerations. If
that's
if you're
true.
using something that not a lot of people know in the company, then we don't have a backup. We want to
Yeah.
have a backup.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, most
Okay.
companies talaga, guys, if you're watching this and you're like about to graduate IT or you want to study coding, most companies would have stacks that they prefer, right? And even cloud providers that they prefer, Azure, AWS, in coding naman Python, Java, Node.js, meron talagang desired stacks.
Yeah, like us,
Also
Google Cloud.
because of decisions made before, right? And those things have to be considered for it to be proper for production software to be properly supported.
Yeah. So most of the time when developers are assessing a language, they're only assessing it for like the language itself, like how cool the language is, how easy it is to use, or how performant it is for that use case. But in reality, when you're shipping software, that's not the only consideration. You're considering developer knowledge, business continuity, like can this software be supported over time, like the like the performance of that language on that specific use case, the portability, and there's many considerations. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing then is like if it's really new too, like I actually na-explain na rin ni Albert, so I don't want to beat it to death. But yun nga, if it's really new, no one, like if you leave and you're the only one that knows that knowledge, it would be hard for us to actually get another person, no? And hiring takes time as it is, right? Even with very common languages. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Next
So
meme.
don't be like this girl there, washing hands, like that's so OA behavior, overacting naman. Okay.
Yes.
Next. Trying to learn any programming language 100%. Come on, just a little bit more. Almost there. It's anything in life.
True.
Yeah,
True.
anything in life. Be prepared. That's our journey, devs. It's gonna be a lifelong learning thing.
Yeah, and there's always gonna be new things, right? And I think the key
So
thing is you don't stagnate yourself. So in the same way as kanina, there's a dev that, Bert, I really want to do Flutter. Kudos actually to that guy, right? For saying, hey, Bert, I'm going to talk to the CTO because I think this is a really good thing.
yeah,
But yeah, it always be like this. There's always
you
going to
can even
be...
like change this one instead of trying to learn any programming language 100%, but more of like trying to learn anything, right? Trying to learn
Yeah,
anything.
true.
And just when you thought that you mastered this language, a new language comes in, and that's actually now the next thing. Like
There's
who would have
even-
thought that JavaScript would take over the world, right?
Totoo. The other thing pa, Bert, is like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but in some cases, right? Like for me, when I started to study blockchain, the more I know, the more I don't know. Something like that. No, now there's definitely a lot of things that I still don't know. So
Yeah.
I think this is how I feel about this meme. Hey, time check. It's already 52 minutes. I didn't see
Yeah,
na
we can
time.
do two more. Let's do
Yeah,
two
give
more.
us your best ones, guys.
Yeah. Two more. Talan. Oh.
So, naghahanap na sila ng mga best of the best.
The pupil of your eye can expand for 45 when you see something you love. For me, it's different.
Ano sa'yo, Bert?
For me, it's when the invoice is paid.
Oh.
I'm a business guy, so it's like when we set
True.
the bill and then the invoice gets paid, like
Siyempre.
woohoo, yes.
Siyempre. Yeah, that's what we worry about, guys. I mean, we need to keep the water running, the aircon in the office, diba, internet, etc.
But
That's
code
true,
compiled
that's true.
successfully. That's true. Nothing. But I would say this meme is pretty an old meme because nowadays you don't really compile code anymore. I mean, well,
Yeah, plus there are many tools na kasi talaga, like linters, right? Like, I mean, you're almost always certain that your code is okay, right?
Yeah,
and
you get
if you
real-time
follow
feedback.
yes, follow a coding pipeline, etc. Yeah. Last one?
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
think the devs are thinking, the CTOs, they're so not coding anymore. They can't relate. AI will kill us all. Yeah, you know what? There was a time, Germ, when almost every time I talk about I will always get this question about like related to like how AI will destroy all the jobs, right? Just
Mm,
AI will destroy
yeah.
like people's jobs.
Mm,
Um, I think the AI will actually replace a lot of jobs.
yeah.
I think that's something that's really gonna happen. Just as jobs have disappeared before,
Mm, mm,
um,
mm.
and are replaced now by other things. So I think AI will definitely displace or replace a lot of jobs, just as technology has had. But I think a lot of also new jobs are being invented every single day, right? So now we're like training AI. Now we're the
Yeah.
ones like clicking, labeling things
Yeah. Yeah.
for created new jobs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Actually, I think this is gonna be a good topic, maybe in next episodes, right? I think probably the time when you were talking about this and you were being asked was the time probably when Elon Musk was also very verbal about, putting in policies and regulations for AI. No, I think this was 2 years ago, 2019 or 18. There was this, I think, naging viral din yung podcast nila ni Joe Rogan, where he was really saying AI is not just gonna replace jobs, but really, if we're not careful, could be very dangerous, right?
yeah. Yeah, this will be a good next episode actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I read this article by Wait But Why. It was like a long read. I took 5 hours to read this whole article. It's about
Mm-mm,
why you should invent Neuralink, why we should actually create a
mm-mm.
brain machine interface with a high bandwidth.
Oh,
Um,
I actually like that one. I really agreed with that, no? Na, because
yeah,
Elon was saying that time na to Joe na we're already cyborgs, right? Except
yeah,
that our input output is just really
it's
slow, and it's
yeah,
slower pa now because before it used to be 10 fingers because you're typing in a keyboard, right? So for those of you guys who don't know, if you guys want to watch something interesting, it's actually two plus hours. It's Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, no, and they talk about many random things there, but one of the things that they talked about was AI, and Elon was saying now we're already kind of like cyborgs, right? We have access to like an quote unquote infinite amount of knowledge in the internet, except that it's not yet connected to us, right? It's always through our fingers. Because let's say
yeah,
before you used to type, diba? Like, uh, let's say you want to learn about astrophysics, you go to an online website, you search, you read, and you learn, right? So para ka ng cyborg din, except that it's not internally, planted to you. But what he's saying and what Neuralink, diba, just really recently is saying is that they want to change the input output speed. No,
yeah,
not anymore keys per second or minutes, but it's internal. And just
yeah.
recently, diba, it's the
Thank you. Yep.
monkey playing ping pong. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that would be interesting actually. I feel like
yeah,
that would be a quite a revolution once it comes in.
yeah. Back to this meme. Back to this meme. Actually, um, and I think this is probably gonna be a debate. Depends, but like I do agree, no, that there is danger in not regulating it now, and even to this point, parang hindi pa siya more on doomsday activity discussion, right? It's more on privacy and that these companies are looking at us as data, AI, ML, etc. But I think medyo we're still far, I guess, no? Because I think you know why I say this, like especially because of this, because image recognition. Do you know why CAPTCHA still works, right? And the website would ask you to select the traffic lights or pedestrians. It's because it can't be. It's a really good countermeasure for bots or scraping, right? Because hindi pa talaga nila masyadong magaling na yung image recognition that, a computer can just scrape your screen, look at, okay, this is a traffic light, a traffic light, and then, and that's why CAPTCHA works
And
because
there's a
it's
small
still a
edge. Is it still part of the traffic light?
that actually bugs me a lot, no? Yung mga CAPTCHA things na yan. But anyway, I mean, that's one thing, right? Like, I mean, that just proves na hindi pa talaga as powerful. Or the counter argument to this is we're just not aware of that technology, right? I mean, I think a lot of technology is hidden from the public anyways, most likely being used by military. I don't know.
So I think well, when I think of I think of AI as artificial. That's what it is, artificial intelligence, right? So you
Mm.
can hire a person for one thing, or you can hire an AI for that thing, and it really depends what that thing is, right? So, for example, if you're hiring a person to like select what's let's just say um, in an assembly line, you're trying to detect good apples from bad apples, right? So they can sort good apples from bad apples.
Mm-mm-mm.
I think a use case for AI would be excellent there. Why? Because I don't want a human being like, just trying to do that,
True,
right?
true, 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 true.
But if the application is you're trying to you replace a human being who's trying to make a decision of whether to bomb a village or bomb like a headquarters of a military, like I don't know, like terrorist or something, and you're using now going to replace it with an AI to make that decision. That's a whole different thing, right?
True, true,
Like,
true, true. I
so
think
I think
yeah, yeah.
it's the application
Go
really.
ahead, go ahead. Yeah. That's true. Although I think ang basa ko dito sa meme na to, it's like the AI really is going to be sentient, right? As in it's gonna think for itself. And you watch Ultron, Age of Ultron, right? Na
Yeah,
because the way Tony and the Hawk trained the model, right? Trained Ultron originally, he concluded that the only way to protect humanity was to do a restart, right? Like he said that he's gonna kill everyone, etc. Blah blah blah. And I think
wow, you
that's
actually read that. I didn't actually. I was just like, oh, they made an AI that's a bad guy. I didn't
no,
think about it that deep.
they trained him, and before actually Ultron was online, Tony said, 'di ba, na he wanted like peace,
Oh,
something,
yeah, you're
parang
right.
peace in our time,
Yeah, peace in our
something.
time. Peace in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
time.
And so that was the last thing I guess that Jarvis Ultron heard. And um basta peace in our time actually is something that someone said also that's famous, that basta related to war. And so Ultron related everything to war, and a lot of pictures there were actually about war. And nag-conclude siya, no? Na okay, therefore because of the data given to me, I'm gonna kill everyone because that's the only way. Because humanity is like a virus, something like that.
Yeah.
I should watch that again. That's a good
There's a,
movie.
there's actually oh yeah. I don't really watch movies, but that's a good movie. Just brings up one thing that I remember. It's called the Paperclip Optimizer. I don't know if you play this game. There's a game online. You should
Mm.
probably Google it. It's called the Paperclip Optimizer, where your
Sige.
job is like to your the game is like you're trying to make many paper clips, and you optimize all the way until like it just gets crazy. Like the whole game gets crazy until you make like so many millions of paper clips. Um, it took like 5 hours of my life. Like literally, I was so addicted to it. I couldn't get out of it. 5 hours of
Ginawan
my
mo ng model.
no, yeah, like dude, you just gotta try it, and if you have time, like you will know what I mean. Like you will get stuck.
Paperclip, optimizer.
Paperclip optimizer.
Sige,
I'm gonna
I'll search that one.
paperclip optimizer. Let me see if I can actually bring it up now and put it on screen. Let me see. Let me see if this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. All right, let me share my screen. Share screen.
Guys, to those who are watching, play this game
So here we go.
and be
Share-
prepared to spend 5 hours of your life.
Yeah, so this is the one. This is the game. It's
Oh my
called
goodness.
yeah. It's ugly, right? But like you make a paperclip. And so when you make a paperclip, you make one paperclip. So you have like business funds here and so on. Your level one, your marketing, your manufacturing. So this is the cost. So you have like some 999 inches of wire. So you lower or raise your price. So you have got some economics in place. So you just keep clicking this, right? Like you keep doing that. You make enough, and then you kind of maybe like raise the price.
Why did you spend so much time on this?
It gets more. It gets more. Like I think something happens as you I think okay, I have to increase my marketing, so I gotta probably raise the price. You're raising the price over also lowers the public demand, so you probably have to make sure that it's optimized. So you're selling. Where am I selling? Clips per second manufacturing. Where's my available funds is 4.29. So you can see I'm selling paper clips at this rate. So if I lower the price, the demand will go up, and then you can see that my unsold inventory goes down over time. Okay. Like, okay, so now it unlocked like this thing, auto clippers. Like, so I don't have to press that one. So I buy one. So now it's creating more inventory, right? So I will lower the price so that more people will buy that. Okay. So there. So now I'm like running out. It's going down really fast. So now I have an imbalance. I have to fix the supply. I've increased the supply. So I increase the auto clippers. So now I have. So this is what you do. You keep the balance. Okay. So now it's automatic. So it's for. So if I lower it to increase it, yeah, this is what I do. But it gets better because like here, public demand is really lower. So I can get more auto clippers. So see, so it's now like it's selling like hotcakes. Like I can't. So I have to like, yeah. So where's my money? I have 565. Yeah. So it's so I'll raise the price a little bit so that I can get more money.
Tama na, Bert. Baka mag
Yeah.
5 hours ulit tayo.
Yeah. Sorry. See, that's why I tell you. So it's called your decisionproblem.com/paperclip/index2.html. So yeah, just look for it. Yeah. All right.
What's the
Why-
connection daw?
What's the connection? No, okay. What's the connection AI and paperclips? So okay, because it gets
That
crazy
made me
later on.
laugh so hard.
The connection is that as you're trying to optimize for the paperclips, eventually like you're gonna buy marketing, and then like you're gonna try to. It means more obvious when you play the game, but basically you get more skills, right? More power. Eventually, you as a company have access to funds.
Grabe, I'm so red na.
Investing in the stock market, right? Like you can invest in the stock market to get more funds so that you can use funds to buy more paper clips. And you're just optimizing for paper clips, and you just buy and buy more paper clips until like you need to buy. It gets crazy because you need to buy planets. You need to get planets to convert the planets into matter to create wire. So then the wire you can turn into paper clips. And so this is like the exaggeration of how an AI, for example, could be optimized to create paper clips. And then
Okay.
if that AI is saying like, okay, I'm running out of like wire, and there's wire in like some other city, and if it's connected to like the stock market or something, it can maneuver it so that it can get more wire, so that it will optimize to make paper clips. So yeah, if it gets really smart. I don't know why you're laughing at me. You're laughing at me because it's what? It's funny, or like what happened to
I don't know.
Albert?
Meanwhile, like most people play Call of Duty, Mobile Legends. Albert spends 5 hours on making paper clips on a text-based game.
Yeah. No, yeah. You just gotta try it for yourself.
Sige. I might be addicted.
Yeah, it does not hump. You get past a certain. Once you understand it, you're like, oh, okay, I gotta balance this thing, and then eventually, like, you get stuck.
Where did
get stuck.
Where did you find that game, Bert?
I think Elon Musk talks about this. Yeah, it's called the paperclip optimizer. Yeah, there's a whole like theory behind it. Yeah.
Okay, gets ko. Baka addicting nga yung mechanics of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about, maybe we can talk about it next episode or some other episode. Talk about AI. I have a whole lot of other because I really looked into this thing before as well.
Sige. Anything else, guys? Lenly, are we good?
Yeah, I think that was it. We told them like just the last two, so let's call it a night.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Saturday evening, or whenever time you're watching this at home. Again, just like last time, if you like this video, if you like to hang out with us, please follow us on our page, CTOs Discuss, on Facebook and YouTube. And watch out for more videos, episodes. And actually, if you guys please also give us feedback and comments, right? And what do you guys want to learn or talk about, or dabble about next time, I guess.
Sure.
Cool.
Bye. See you next Saturday.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Do you want to be a developer who is competent by the tech industry standards, but you aren't sure how to get there. OmniQuotient is here to help. By selecting the tech that you use and answering questions belonging to these technologies, you can check if you are currently using the recommended practices in coding. If you aren't, you will learn what these practices are, so you can go ahead, learn them, and become a better developer producing better code. OmniQuotient. Learn how professionals code.